that make sense? It's the Warren Commission report, for God's sake. But that means the government could be right.
When the world is mine, your death shall be quick and painful.
Conspiracy to turn precious land and water resources into secret meeting places where rich white fat cats can plot to suppress the masses using golf as a cover.
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Legion of Doom, dedicated to a single objective, the conquest of the universe.
Daring, highly trained special mission force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
The world is mine! The world is mine!
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence.
At first, the media portrayed Seal as a drug dealer gone good, who was assassinated by the Colombian Mafia.
Authorities believe last night's machine gun killing of top drug informant Barry Seal was ordered by drug bosses in Medellin, Colombia, who sent 5 men to Baton Rouge to kill Seal.
Sam Dalton was the lawyer that represented the Colombian hitmen convicted of his assassination. We were trying to subpoena the CIA because we felt like they had documents, exhibits, and evidence that would indicate complicity in Seal's assassination. When they were able to gain access of Barry Seal's trunk the night of the murder, the personal phone number of none other than George H.W. Bush was present. Louis Unglesby, the former attorney for Mr. Seal, also confirms that he once called the office of the vice president after Seal had given him the number.
Question touches upon a highly sensitive and classified area, so may I request that you not touch upon that, sir?
I was particularly concerned, Mr. Chairman, because I read in Miami papers and several others that there had been a plan developed by that same agency, a contingency plan in the event of emergency that would suspend the American Constitution, and I was deeply concerned about it and wondered if that was the area in which he had worked. I believe that it was, I wanted to get his
I most
confirmation.
respectfully request that that matter not be touched upon at this stage. If we wish to get into this, I'm certain arrangements can be made for an executive session.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order.
And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning
there is a chance for the President of the United States to use this disaster to carry out what his father, a phrase his father used, I think, only once, and hasn't been used since, and that is a new world order.
John Ashcroft told the House Judiciary Committee and the Senate Judiciary Committee the Patriot Act was so important that they didn't have time to read the statute before they could vote on it. Imagine that. 2 members of the Senate claimed they read it, and one of them is now dead, Paul Wellstone. He voted against it. Russ Feingold says he read it. He voted against it. Ron Paul and his colleagues in the House were given 15 minutes on the House intranet, the internal internet for members of Congress and their staffs, to read the Patriot Act. It's 315 pages long, and it doesn't read like a novel.
There have been a total of over 480 people arrested or detained. 614 persons. Detained nearly 1,000 individuals.
He swept broadly, he swept blindly, until the number was over 1,000, and people started asking questions. They said, how many of these 1,000 people have been charged with the crimes of September 11th? And the answer was 0. Then people asked, well, how many of these people, these suspected terrorists, have been charged with any crime related to terrorism? And the answer was 0. So those were not good answers from the government's perspective. So what did the government do? In early November, it announced, we no longer will give out a daily tally. It's too difficult for us to give out a daily tally. It wasn't difficult for them when they thought it sent the message that we're doing something to fight terrorism. But when it started to send the message, we're locking up lots of people who aren't even charged with terrorism, they just stopped telling us how many people were detained.